Welcome to the first episode of No Need for a 79. We're passionate about custom builds, and today we're looking at Jason Cook's 1995 Nissan Patrol. Jason, why don't you tell us a bit about the car and what you've done and where it's at?
Yeah, thanks Mike. Correction, 1996 Nissan Patrol.
Oh, I was close.
Anyway, look, it was actually a one lady owner GQ Patrol that I bought from South Australia. It had a, the old 2.8 litre turbo diesel in it. Yep. And of course with those things they have the weakness in the fifth cylinder, so it cracked her head. So I bought it with a blown engine, but it was literally one owner, so it was clean underneath the whole lot. There's still no rust in it, but she looks pretty rough now. So I bought that from South Australia, and then I did a VR Commodore 5 litre conversion to it.
Yep.
And so Commodore 5 litre conversion, plus it's got the 4L60E auto behind it.
And did you have to build that to make it stronger too?
Yeah, so I spent about $2,000 in the box. I got bigger bands and pistons in it, stage 2 shift kit, all that sort of stuff. I want to make it super tough because it's like a ton and a half of vehicle. It's having to push and everything. So.
Yep. What were some of the pain points of doing the conversion?
Well, it's pretty easy, really. I mean, Mark's 4 drive adapters have got the complete kits, for the transfer case adapter, engine mounts, the fuel system, the whole lot. They do a really good job. So I basically bought it all in stages off them as I was doing the build. The engine I rebuilt. I just put it in a one bigger cam up from standard.
Yep. And
just new rings and bearings and everything, and tidied it up. I didn't want to go overboard with it because we were looking at going around Australia with it, and being a lot of weight and possibly towing, trailers and things like that. It's got the potential to overheat, so I didn't want to have that.
So we'll pop the hood and Jason can talk us through the conversion.
Alright, when I did the conversion, I actually found there was very little out there that you could glean off when you were coming across the little gremlins and problems of the conversion. So one of them was a lot of the guys used to keep the Patrol steering, power steering. So I chose not to. I chose to go with the Holden power steering just because it was kept complete with the engine. But to do that, I had to change the mount around because it wouldn't fit into the side of the battery bracket. And when you go and engineer these things, you need 20 mil between any hard surface.
Yep.
So that was one major one. Everything else is kept standard on the engine because when I went for the engineering plate, I wanted it to be passed straight away because I lived in Langatha and it was being done in Melbourne. And a side note on that, it was nice because I took my time with it and went attention to detail. And the guy said I've never seen a cleaner conversion before, so that was nice. The other thing is I kept the standard Patrol air box and filter. That way I could just connect up a movable, I suppose, connection hose to the engine. So pretty much everything that's on the engine is all Holden, including the engine mounts, which you have to move obviously when and re-engineer to the right spot. And
And to get the engine in, did you pull any of the front off the car, or did you slide it in?
Didn't have to do that because they're big enough. It's almost like they were meant for it. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They fit in nicely. You can get your hands around it. It fits in really well. The other thing I'll make a note of is that don't bother about the the cheap eBay fans and stuff. Because they do run a little bit hot, you need the big AU, the Ford AU fans. And,
Right.
Yeah, as the thermo fans.
And have you any overheating issues since, or?
No, not really. No, it's the computer's set it at, I think it's 85, where it kicks in the fans, and the fans cool it down beautifully, keep it cool. So it's only if a fan fails or a relay or something like that, then you have issues, But,
Yeah.
Electrical system though is one thing I got done, and probably the only downside of conversion is you're having to marry like the electrical system into the patrol system. And I've always had little gremlins with that. There's always been occasions where, like, relays will blow, and then a thermo fan will go out, or there's, generally if you're doing something else somewhere else, there'll be a little gremlin somewhere else, So, like lately, I've had a bit of an issue with running my winch. If I keep my winch on, connected to the battery, it tends to do something else to somewhere else and blow a fuse somewhere else. So,
Yep.
it's one of those ones where you got to get that right, and the guy I got it off probably wasn't the best setup, but anyway, it's got me through, and I just always find the problem and get it sorted, and it's fine for a while. So.
Yep. Oh, no, that's great. And how do you find the power of it being such a heavy car?
Yeah, no, not too bad. It's obviously you're not racing or anything, but I'll tell you what, when you go, like say big high country, it's awesome.
Sure.
Like especially with the auto. After going on auto, I'll never go back to manual again.
Yep.
They're absolutely brilliant. You can just crawl up. The only downside with the autos is you don't have the engine brake to, for steep declines.
Yep.
But then if you want to spend a bit more money, obviously you go into reduction gears and all that sort of stuff. But, I'm not going to that sort of level of it. So, so you just burn your brakes out a bit as you come down, But, you get over it. But
it's definitely got that natural torque like a big diesel or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think they're 500 Newton meters.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and then, like this would be pushing out at the flywheel probably about 320 horsepower or something.
Oh, that's not too bad at all, is it?
But with the GQ drivetrain and the auto, you're dropping probably 100 horsepower out of that. It's pretty good, and that's why I just went one level up with the cam, to give it that little bit extra power, and it's everything I've always needed. So hill climbs in the muddy is awesome. You can just stomp on it and just power your way up, but.
And then tractor in low range when you sort of need to.
Exactly. Yeah, it works well in all situations. And the key with conversions is don't go the carburized ones, because when you're doing steep inclines and declines, you run out of fuel because the bowls run out of fuel. So that's why you got to go injection. Because it's just constant pressure in the system. So you can go at any angle and it never bothers you with fuel. So
I guess the $1 million question is would you do it again?
No, it was a good experience. I've always loved it. I've had it for roughly 6 years now. June 2014 is when I did the conversion, and it's good. The only downside, obviously, is the fuel economy again. But for what I use it for, I'm not driving a whole heap of Ks, so it's the best fun, and I'd do it again. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for showing us your car, and it's good to see guys turning their own spanners.
Yep.
And I guess that's what we're all about here. So. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Good one. Cheers. Working on the patrol. Here's little Lockie. Say hello to MJ. Hello, MJ.
Hi,
And patrol. Nearly got the engine out, and the new beast under here. Awesome!